Thirdly, they were to endure godly discipline. Not only despise, but endure. He says, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, nor what? Nor what? Nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. Don't despise it. And if you're going to continue to embrace it, then you must endure it. How long? Well, until God teaches you what he wants to teach you. Don't short-live the lesson. Go and come under and submit to whatever God is doing in your life. Don't short-circuit, because you know what's going to happen? We're going to start again until you get it right. That's what God does. We're just going to do it all over again until you get it right. Faint means to be weakened to the point of giving up. And they were not to give up, but allow God to continue to work in their life. As mentioned, the Christian life, listen, it's not easy, but to live without Christ is harder. Yes, it's tough living the Christian life. Yes, we have restrictions, and yes, we have, beautiful principles to live by, and they're beautiful, they're righteous, they're truth, they're holy. And yes, the Christian life may be, restricted, hard, because it goes against our flesh and what we want to do. But guess what? It's the best life you can ever have. It far beats living a life without Christ. Without Christ, your life will be harder, I guarantee it. Harder. Proverbs 13:15, good understanding giveth favor, but the way of the transgressors are what? Is hard. It's a hard life to live when you're living outside of the will of God and living in sin, I guarantee you. It's hard. Yes, Christian life is not easy. We're supposed to endure hardness. But living as a non-Christian, I tell you, brutal. No peace. Even in laughter, there's no rest for the soul of the wicked. Even in laughter. Because you just laugh for that time. And the next day, reality kicks in. It kicks in. And when it kicks in? When you're on your deathbed. Imagine laying on your bed without God, without Christ. Imagine that. Laying upon your bed and you don't have the Lord in your life. Where the Christian has the Lord. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Why? For thou art with me, and thy rod and staff, they what? They comfort me. They comfort. Even when we're on our deathbed or we're in the valley of death, the Lord is there. But what about to the non-Christian? Their expectations cut off. It's harder to live without the Lord. The whole point of God's chastening to bring us back where we should be. Look, listen, it's not to discourage us. Trials and tribulations that God allows in our life, they're not there to discourage us. Listen, they're there to deliver us. They're there to deliver us from the greater danger. If God were to leave us to ourselves, would be done and finished. I remember one time, Charity, you probably don't remember this, but you were maybe the age of Mercy. You were Mercy's age. And I remember you were standing on the dining chair, the chair for the dining table. You were standing and you were bobbing up and down doing these ones. And I said, Charity, stop, you're going to fall. And then you'd stop. And then after a moment, you'll go again. And this happened like several times. I can almost see her plummet. Stop. And then the stop got firmer and forceful. Stop. No. A lot of people don't like that word, no. Do they? Oh, we just don't like that word, no. No. Stop. And all of a sudden, she plummets. And I was foreseeing this. And as she fell, I grabbed her leg. And she was inches away from hitting her head on the ground. And I pulled her up, and it perhaps would have hurt. And she looked at me. Listen. She looked at me, I'll never forget it. She looked at me like as if I had done something wrong. Like as if I had made her fall. She looked at me. almost similar to the way Mercy looks when she's just not happy. And what she didn't realize that I was breaking her fall. And yes, it took force to do it, to deliver her from having some sort of injury like brain damage. God's not out to hurt us. God wants to help us. He loves us.